Hello, my rebel souls. Welcome back to Rebel to Rise, where we break the rules, trust our design, and lead authentically. Today's episode is a little different. We're doing a Q&A. These questions came from you, my listeners, so thank you for sending me these. These questions cover fear of judgment, self-doubt, emotional authority, time limitations, delegating without spiraling, and how to trust your instincts when everything feels uncertain. Okay, let's dive in. First question. How do I deal with judgment when I start breaking the rules and leading and doing business my way? Okay. This question is great because when you start showing up differently, like setting boundaries or speaking up, there will always be a fear of how will people react. Fear of judgment is such a human experience, especially for those of us who were raised to be good girls, or do as we're told, don't be too much, don't ruffle any feathers. So the moment you decide to do something differently, even if it's aligned with what feels good for you, your nervous system will start screaming, warning, warning, you're going to get kicked out of the tribe. As I mentioned in episode 2 about conditioning, humans are wired to seek belonging. And for generations, women were safe when we were accepted, liked, and agreeable. So when you suddenly start saying no to things, charging higher prices, showing up differently, having different opinions, or trying something those around you have never seen before, it could feel dangerous. But here's what I want you to remember. You're not being reckless. You're being who you're designed to be. Doing things your way isn't about being rebellious for the sake of rebellion. It's about reclaiming the parts of yourself that got dimmed or denied so you could be liked by your community. And yes, making changes will be uncomfortable. There's no doubt about it. You might feel people pulling away. You might even feel misunderstood. When I first started living my life for me in a way that was aligned for who I am and what I wanted, I lost friends. I lost close relationships. In the moment, it really sucked. It was confusing. I was questioning myself. It was hurtful even. But as time went on, I realized losing people needed to happen for me to reach my goals, for me to be able to live the life I dreamed of. The people who are meant to walk this life with you, to support you, they won't be pushed away. In fact, they'll be drawn closer because you're showing up authentically. That authenticity, that's magnetic. That is where the magic is. And if you think of it, who wouldn't want to be surrounded by people that allow them to show up as their full self and not be judged? It's harsh, but anyone that judges you for being you is not meant to be a part of your life. Why would you want to have that energy in your life? I also want you to keep in mind, change is hard for everyone. It is definitely hard for you, but it can be hard for those around you. Some judginess comes from the surprise of, who is this person? This is not what I'm used to. Or the judgment can come from jealousy because they want to be living their life more unapologetically, yet they feel they can't. So don't take the judgment personally. Be authentic and be you. And you never know. Someone might judge you initially, but they could come around to this new you. So have a bit of patience for those around you, yet still hold your boundaries. Here's a journal prompt for you. What would I do today if I wasn't worried about being misunderstood? What is the first thing that pops into your mind if you knew there'd be no judgment? Let yourself explore what comes up. Okay, question 2. This one is a good one. It's especially important if you have an emotional authority, which over 50% of the population does. So the question is, how do I know if a decision is aligned or it's actually doubt or resistance telling me I'm wrong? This is such a common struggle when you're getting used to making decisions differently, to rewiring your mind and body to try something new. And this is especially true if you're spent most of your life relying on logic, because humans weren't designed to make decisions with our minds. Our minds are great at analysis, but terrible for knowing what is right for us. So let me break this down. Doubt and resistance can be tricky. They may sound like, are you sure? Is this going to be the wrong move? Sometimes it could actually be your intuition trying to speak up. But at other times, it could be your fear wearing your voice. So how do you know the difference between what is aligned and meant for you and when it's the voice of doubt or fear or resistance coming up? This is exactly where human design comes in. Your human design authority is what helps tell you the difference between fear and truth. I'm going to give an example of an emotional authority process because, again, over 50% of the population is emotional authority, and telling the difference between fear and truth could be a little tricky with emotional authority. I do have an emotional authority, so I know this very well. As an emotional authority, your first emotional reaction is not your truth. You need time. You need to ride the emotional wave. You need to feel the high, you need to feel the low, and then decide from a place of calm neutrality. Let me give you a real life example from just last week. This played out for me on a shopping trip. I was at Joann's recently, and they're going out of business, which is very sad to me, but everything in the store was at least 60% off. So there was deals everywhere, which was very exciting for me as a crafty, creative person. As I was wandering through the store, I saw this gorgeous fabric and my gut immediately lit up. Yes, I need this. But doubt kicked in. I've never sewed from scratch. I only have done alterations. What would I actually do with that fabric? The excitement had me ready to buy, but as I've learned, emotional authority means pause. So instead of deciding immediately, I tossed the fabric into my cart and wandered around the store more. I let that excitement from seeing the fabric settle. I let myself enjoy the experience of being in a creative paradise while letting that emotional high pass. An hour later, as I got to checkout, I reevaluated how I felt about buying the fabric. My emotions from that love at first sight of the fabric had leveled out. I felt calm, and I asked my gut again, do I still want this? The answer was still a full body yes for me. That's when I knew it was an aligned decision. It was the right decision that I wouldn't have regrets about. So no matter what your human design authority is, if you're finding yourself second guessing a lot, here are my next steps for you. Know your authority. If you don't know it already, I'll leave the link below to generate your free human design chart that will tell you. But I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to learn how you're designed to make decisions. The more you understand and practice this, the easier it will be for you to make decisions that feel so good. And if you need a refresher on authority, go back and listen to episode 4, Unlocking Your Inner Compass in Business. As you learn your authority, practice with the little stuff. Try it out on what you want to eat, what you want to say yes to, what you want to post, what you want to do today. It's all these little decisions will help build that self-trust. And as you practice using your authority, notice the difference when you make aligned decisions. How does alignment feel in your body versus when you're getting stuck in your head? I stress the importance of learning your authority, how you're designed to make decisions, because self-trust isn't built by reading more books or waiting for fear to disappear. It's built by practicing trust again and again until that becomes your new baseline. I do have human design embodiment journals to help you apply your design to your daily routines. It's just one journal prompt for 30 days to help you make small shifts in your day-to-day to build that self-trust and lead with more alignment to who you are. I'll leave the link to those below. All right, question 3. I keep hearing you talk about breaking free from conditioning, but how do I actually do that? Like, what is step 1? Okay, yes, I know it's so much easier said than done, so let me break this down for you. I first want to say deconditioning does not happen in one day. It's not about fixing yourself. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. It's not a race, it's rather making small shifts day by day. As a recap, back in episode 2, I talked about how we get conditioned to work hard, to people please, to stay small. And then one day, we wake up and wonder, wait, how did I get here? I built the business, I followed the advice, but I'm exhausted, and I don't even know what I want anymore. That's the rude awakening that something needs to change. But that's also where your freedom starts. So here's what I tell my clients. Step 1 is solely just building awareness, noticing the shoulds. Write them down. What do you tell yourself you should be doing in your business? Post daily, hustle harder, take on that client that gives you all the red flags, but you take them on anyways because you were told you should never turn away business. And these shoulds could also be personal, like telling yourself to go to the gym every day. Just start to notice where shoulds show up in your life. Where are you shoulding yourself? Once you see the shoulds, you could question them. And this is where I love Byron Katie's work. Ask yourself, is this true? Can I be absolutely sure it's true? How do I react when I believe this thought? Who would I be without this thought? From there, choose a new belief that actually feels aligned. Deconditioning is not about ripping yourself or your business apart. It's about asking, where am I compromising what I know is true for me? So start there by asking where those shoulds are showing up in your life. It might seem like a small step, but awareness is the first step to creating change. And creating change is the rebel's way back to joy. All right, up next, question 4. I want to delegate more, but I feel guilty. How do I let go without spiraling? First, I think we can all agree delegating can feel so hard when we're used to doing everything ourselves. When your identity is wrapped up in being the responsible one, it is hard to let go. And I get it, I was that person. So here's what I want to offer you. Delegation isn't giving up control. It's about creating space for someone else to rise. I bet you did not see that answer coming, but when you delegate with intention, you're not being lazy. You're making a power move. You're saying, I trust someone else to bring their zone of genius into this business. It's not a weakness. That is what leadership is. As a strong leader, you are here to help others rise into their greatness. And here's a reframe that helped me. You're just not paying for someone to get a task done. You're investing in someone else's joy. Yes, you're not just paying for a task to get done. You're investing in someone else's joy. Think about that. When you delegate something that drains you and it's lighting someone else up, that's a win-win. You free up your energy for what only you could do, and that person gets to shine in their brilliance. And as a bonus, your clients will feel that energetic shift and it'll be contagious. So start small. Choose one task to let go of this week. Notice the guilt. Allow yourself to feel that guilt, but don't let the guilt drive the bus. Let alignment drive instead. Okay, question 5. What if I'm trying to do business differently and follow some of your advice, but my time and energy feel really limited right now? Look, there is nothing wrong with being responsible. If you're low on energy, I want you to be realistic and meet your energy where it's at and not drain yourself by trying to do more. As for time, when you wait until everything is perfect, the time, the support, the money, you'll be waiting forever. Doing business differently does not mean doing it with no constraints. It means being more intentional with what you do have. Even small steps add up. You might have a 10-hour workday right now, but is there somewhere you could steal just 30 minutes to do something for you that brings you joy? The more time you spend doing things you enjoy, the more energetic you will start to feel. As another example, you might not have time to meditate every day, but could you find 5 minutes to just take a break and sit in the sun, solely just getting out in fresh air and breaking up your routine is a great way to re-energize yourself. Or you might not have full clarity on what to do next. But is there just one next aligned step you could take, no matter how big or small? Progress isn't about perfection. It's about momentum, and you get to define what that looks like for you. And hey, if you haven't downloaded my Momentum Maker workbook yet, go do it now. This is literally made for this season of life where it doesn't seem like there's enough time in the day. It helps you prioritize, get out of the weeds, and helps you start feeling like you're leading again. I'll leave the link below. And the last question, how do I stay in alignment when it feels like I keep second guessing everything I'm doing? Welcome to the club. Seriously, I don't know one person that doesn't second guess themselves at times. Second guessing does not mean you're doing it wrong. It means you're in the middle of this growth. You're becoming someone new, and that identity shift is not going to be linear. There are going to be some speed bumps. Here's the key for when you're feeling wobbly and unsure. Come back to your why. Anchor in your vision, and let your human design strategy and authority guide your decisions. If you're a projector, for example, and you're waiting for the right invitation, you'll be second guessing everything if you don't have a clear vision anchoring you. If you're a generator or manifesting generator, you might find yourself responding to everything without checking your gut response first. That is what leads to overwhelm. Or if you're a manifestor or reflector and letting someone else dictate your next move, you'll be left feeling anger and disappointment. Alignment does not mean easy. It means congruent. When what you do matches with who you are, that is what alignment is. It doesn't mean you won't be second guessing yourself occasionally, but it's matching your actions to who you are. And the more you practice this, the stronger self-trust will become, and this will just become second nature to you. But again, take those little baby steps and those small things in your day where you could practice using your authority to make decisions easier for you. Ooh, I have to say, I loved answering your questions. If any more questions come up, please send them my way. No topic is off limits. No question is too silly. And if any of these questions hit home for you, please know you're not behind. You're not broken. You're on your path. The fact that you're even asking these questions means you are already rising. You are on your path to your greatness. This podcast is not just about business strategy and human design. It's about helping you come back to yourself, to build a business that feels like your masterpiece and not some carbon copy of someone else's strategy. So here's your reminder. You don't have to do more to be enough. You don't have to hustle to prove yourself. You get to build with clarity, joy, and you-ness. If you love this Q&A format and you want me to do more, leave a comment or shoot me a DM. I really want to create these episodes around where you are and what you love to hear me talk about. I really love hearing from you, so thank you, my listeners, for allowing me to do what I love. Until next time, keep rebelling, keep rising. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of Rebel to Rise, where business meets human design. I hope you feel inspired to break free from those shoulds in your life and trust your inner compass as you create a life and business that truly lights you up. Remember, every day is a chance to rebel against the ordinary and rise into your authentic power. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow rebel who's ready to lead their lives unapologetically. Until next time, keep trusting your intuition, keep breaking the rules, and most importantly, keep rising.